The real fight between Zoro and Kaku was about to begin, but this time, Pinocchio came with a mysterious awakening that scared everyone, and that Vegapunk's infiltrated ally finally decided to show up, and showed us one of the biggest plot twists in One Piece history. In episode 1104 of One Piece, after Bonnie entered the Forbidden Room, Mini Vegapunk tells her to wait because that has nothing to do with Kuma. Quite possible, right? Then it shows a flashback of Vegapunk putting a Baccarat formula on the board and teaching Kuma how to solve sine and cosine. He was telling Kuma that when humans go from crib, they lose a certain weight, and that's the weight of the soul. This means that the soul exists in real life, but the big guy wasn't understanding anything. Then the old man asks if he doesn't think that this is related to his power, which is to make people's pain appear that should be invisible, and still being able to pass it on to other people. So Vegapunk had the brilliant idea of doing the same thing with the memories of the kid. He wanted to know everything about his past. Then Mini Vegapunk yelled at Bonnie not to touch that paw, because that was the pain and she could go throw it on Vasco for that. But the old man couldn't fool her. The girl says she knows her old man's ability very well. In the flashback, Kuma asked if the old man wanted to see him embarrassed, but Vegapunk pleads and says it's all for the good of science. He swears he'll never show it to anyone, but Kuma tells him to forget it because it won't happen. Back at the Labo Estredo, Zoro was taking his sinister X1 with Kaku, and I wouldn't want to take a hit from these guys because just the hockey from the swordsmanship was already cutting everything. Rob, Lucci and Stussy were just sitting back watching everything, and apparently Oda put everyone to awaken an egghead, because now it's Pinocchio's turn, who says he knows Zoro is strong so he's going all out this time. Stussy asks how they're going to kidnap Vegapunk, and Rob Lucci tells her to spill the beans if she has any plans, since she knows this place like the back of her hand. Back in the laboratory, Nami was desperate that Rob Lucci was going up. Shaka says they had some small problems with the system. Lilith was already eager to inaugurate her Vega Bazooka, but Shaka tells her to calm down. Robin says CP0 was very unpredictable, so not even Vegapunk could predict they were going to invade. The Seraphims were falling from the sky and landing on the clouds like a meteor. Stussy asks if they followed the troop, and wow, what a big bunch. Usopp says thank goodness Zoro and Brook are down there to protect the Sunny. It was 2 against 3, so everything would depend on how they would fight. But Shaka says, buddy, look closely. They had forgotten that besides the devilish CP0, there were also the Seraphims who sided with the government after Sentomara turned into a donut. So, besides being at a disadvantage of 2 against 7, the Seraphims were even stronger than the agent. Rob Lucci says he didn't send anyone to follow them, but Stussy says it's too late now. There's no way back for the kids because the barrier has been activated again. Usopp starts to go crazy because now the guys have a whole army, but Shaka says that this may have been CP0's mistake, since up there, those who control the Seraphims are the Vegapunks, as CP0 is only 4th in the authority ranking. If a single Vegapunk gets down there, they'll take control of the Seraphims again. Nami already makes a face of wow, clever boy, and there's no way, Oda's too much of a genius. Mini Vegapunk begged Bonnie to stay away from that golden paw. At Redport, the Marines began shooting at Kuma to take him down before he could reach Mariehua, and the bullets didn't even tickle the guy, but they started to resort to shooting cannonball. Then he fell from above like pigeon poop and opened another crater in the ground. The Marines tell the residents to get out of there soon because things are going to get ugly, and Kuma gets up with a sinister purple blinker in his eye. Every episode, this guy's RGB LED changes color. Bonnie said that wasn't pain because she knows her dad's power very well. The Marines prepared to finish off Kuma, but he sends a laser into their mouths that explodes and makes everyone fly. Bonnie asks if those were Kuma's memories, and she was already eager to see everything. Kuma gets up again and starts climbing the wall again, but he was already dust and already giving a blue screen. After Shaka says they have control of the Seraphims up there, Edison remembers they only regain command if the order reaches them directly, so he starts flying at 300 miles per hour to reach them as quickly as possible. Lilith, who doesn't mind a fight, was already coming down with the bazooka just to make sure. Shaka says, I'm counting on you, Edson, Lilith, and the girl tells him to stop acting like the captain. Usopp says it's bad because not even Zoro and Brook can handle all these guys, so Frankie goes down to help, and Usopp says he can protect the guys up there. Sanji says Zoro's thick-headedness will be an important sacrifice for them to reach One Piece, and Nami tells him to get some shame and go help the crew. So Sanji turned into a Seraphim and started following Nami's orders, while complaining that he didn't want to go save Zoro. Frankie tells him to stop slacking off, and Brook says Zoro will owe him one. Down below, Kaku was turning into a real devil and saying he was itching to settle the score with Zoro, and I swear I was expecting another crazy awakening like Rob Lucci's, but the guy ended up looking more like a giraffe with a long neck. Brook asked what form that was. Zoro says it was supposed to be a giraffe, but it's a bit different from last time, but that doesn't matter because when he cuts the giraffe's corpse in half it'll be the same thing. Kaku says that's if you can cut me, Roronoa, and man, his giant nose blade is untouchable. So Zoro tells Brook to take care of the ship, and the guy pulls a nasal pistol and focuses all his haki on his nose. The guy ate the hay fever, no me, man, and he kept shouting impressed. Ha, there's more to come. Kaku started spinning like a Beyblade, but Zoro said in Wano he fought a guy who was also long and twisted like a centipede, so he was already fed up with this and decided to finish it off for good so he could go back to his nap. I still can't believe this weirdo really thought he had a chance to outshine Zoro. Rob Lucci orders the Seraphims to destroy the laboratory before Vegapunk can escape, and the guys were already gearing up to do some mischief. Of course, Shaka was already in shock. S-Hawk glides at the speed of light to slice the laboratory in half, while the other two were just exploding stuff. S-Bear even compressed the giant ball and and turned it into a tiny one, and that's how the mumps cure was created. Of course, anyone inside the laboratory was already saying their last prayers because in less than 5 seconds everyone would turn into pancakes. Mihawk even combines his swordsmanship with the laser beams that blow up the entire laboratory. Kaku still hasn't figured out his position and says Zoro doesn't stand a chance of getting off this island alive, and the Seraphims got so excited they forgot to stop. They looked like they were in a GIF, with shots fired one after the other. Kaku says they're dragging on too long and orders them to complete the mission already. The laboratory looked like a war zone and they were already losing hope. But then happens the biggest plot twist that changed the whole story of Egghead. Stussy flashes her werewolf fangs and takes a little bite out of Kaku's neck, putting him to sleep instantly. Looks like the Vegapunk's infiltrated ally has finally shown up. Rob Lucci looks back and the giraffe guy is already in deep sleep. Stussy was like a vampire, licking all the blood from the guy, and Tigrinho asks what the heck she's doing. But the girl said she just put him to sleep for a little while, and he should do the same. So yeah, that's the Vegapunk's infiltrated agent, the first successful clone Vegapunk created. Miss Buckingham Stussy, former member of the Rocks. Rob Lucci says he doesn't understand anything and goes straight to attack her, and Stussy asks if he's the type that when he doesn't understand something, he wants to turn others into minced meat right away. Then she dodges Lucci's attack with an optical illusion and grabs him from behind. She sticks a Kairosaki lipstick on him, and I've never seen a guy as lucky as this Rob Lucci, because the girl still takes a big bite out of his neck. She says she knows very well how strong they are and she's not stupid enough to attack directly, and Tigrinho falls flat on the ground. And just so you know, Luffy's fight with Rob Lucci lasted more than 3 episodes while Stussy soloed him and Kaku in 2 minutes. So after all that, she looks at Zoro and starts laughing like a psychopath with tiger blood dripping from her mouth, and the episode ends. In the episode 1105 spoilers, the Straw Hats were all confused, not understanding anything. How come the girl changed sides out of nowhere? But the fight against the Seraphims still continued, because even though Rob Lucci was defeated, his authority level is the same as Stussy's, so she can't change the order to destroy Vegapunk. But Sanji didn't care and already fell in love with the girl. The title of the next episode is A Beautiful Act of Betrayal. The spy Stussy,